We step into the world of big dreams, big moves, and big money. It's the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. After 40 years, the Big Cheese remains dedicated to serving the finest Italian dinners, pizza, pasta, subs, and salads. All of their pasta is imported from Italy and cooked fresh every day. Visit BigCheeseMiami.com. Now, let's find out who's the Big Cheese the Miami Hurricanes are working on with insider Manny Navarro.
All right, it's a beautiful thing. All right, Manny, let's get into our BigCheeseMiami.com NIL report. Jai Lucas.
Yes.
Let me start off with a little basketball instead of a little football there. It was kind of rumored, and it happened. So talk to me a little bit about the new Canes basketball coach.
Yeah, Jai Lucas has never been a head coach before. He's always been an assistant coach, but he spent a lot of time around some of the best basketball athletes in the world. I don't know if you saw the video that the University of Miami put out recently after the hire was made official, but LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, a lot of NBA pros were on this little video congratulating him on getting the Miami job. And ultimately what this is all about, is Jai Lucas's connection to the athletes and being able to bring players to the University of Miami because of his relationships, because of the type of recruiter that he is, the type of recruiter he was at Kentucky, the kind of recruiter he was at Duke. And so I know initially when I first spoke to people in Miami's brass after Jim Larinaga decided to step down, the feeling was everybody in the country was going to be interested in this job because Miami was going to spend the money. They were going to have the NIL resources to bring in players, to revamp the roster, and to try to become a Final Four team again. Now, it was a little surprising that they went with Lucas because he's never been a head coach, but certainly from a personnel perspective, it makes total sense, especially if you're going to spend money and if you're going to surround him around the kind of assistant coaches who can do the X's and O's. And we've seen that before in college basketball and in other realms where maybe the head coach isn't the X's and O's guy, but he's the personnel guy. And so Miami's kind of going the Cristobal route, I think, with basketball, right? Cristobal is the personnel guy, the guy who recruits his butt off, brings the talent in, reels them in, convinces them to come here. And I think eventually you're going to see him surrounded.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Leonard Hamilton.
Yeah, you've seen other examples over the years for sure.
Smith, it was Coach Smith, right? I think is his name. He ran the offense. He ran the practices. Yep. Leonard was the head coach, the recruiter, the relationships guy, all that. But was it Stan Smith?
I can't remember now. It's so many years and so many different guys. But yes.
I want to say his number one assistant that's been with him till the end here. I want that's the guy that's actually coached the offense the entire time. It's not Leonard Hamilton. A lot of people may not know that. You know that because you obviously follow this shit. But yeah, that's something that's normal. So that's good. As listen, if Jai can recruit, the other question is, will they spend?
Yes.
And I guess the NIL is willing to spend in men's basketball.
They are, and basketball is I can tell you basketball is very important to the people running the University of Miami. I know the record this year was highly disappointing, 6-24 or whatever the final record was. The women were bad too as well, didn't even make the ACC championship game. So I know that in terms of the brass and the people who were in charge of the school, it's important for them to see the program turn around. It does not surprise me, by the way, that they went to Duke to get a Duke assistant coach. Because I know that Miami's brass looks at Duke as the gold standard, and for good reason, right? That's the program in the ACC that has dominated the conference for the most part, won the most national championships here in recent years. I know North Carolina had a ton of success too, but you look at what maybe the last 20, 30 years of college basketball has been like. Duke is the gold standard in the conference, and they've spent a lot of time over there looking at the facilities, looking at how they run things, studying the way Duke does things. And so getting a guy who was at Duke on the staff there that, by the way, recruited the Boozer twins, who are the biggest recruits in South Florida in basketball in a long time. They're over at Miami Columbus High School, got them to commit to Duke. Getting Jai Lucas, the primary recruiter, makes complete and total sense, especially nowadays when you can flip guys and get them to switch schools easily in the transfer and to come in. So I think all of that was part of the initiative here.
So you're reporting that Jai Lucas is going to get the Boozer Boys to come here then. And so
I'm not reporting. I'm speculating that that's the move here. That's most likely what's going to end up happening.
Jai Lucas brings the Boozer Boys, keeps them home. That's a lot of money.
Might be happening. Oh, I'm just saying it. Just a coincidence that the Boozers decide, oh, we're going to go play for Duke, and then they go and get the primary recruiter from Duke.
I like that. I can go for that. Do you know who his assistant's going to be, by the way? Any idea?
One of them is probably going to end up being the Columbus High School men's basketball coach, Andrew Moran, who's been there and led the program to several state championships. So I think part of it is getting and helping solidify the Boozer Boys to come to Miami. I think that's probably one of the moves. There's other assistants, guys that have been in college basketball for a long time, obviously. And we mentioned already how Lucas is the personnel guy. So there will be some brains that are going to be brought in to help run the X's and O's part of it. I don't want to speculate on names right now because there's a bunch of them out there, but I think for sure Moran is one guy that has been rumored to be coming here because of the Boozer twins.
Wow, that would be amazing if they can get the Boozer twins. All right, what recruits are you expecting on campus today?
Well, for football this morning, you had a bunch of them, a bunch of 2026, 2027, and even 2028 guys. For the 27 class, which is still next year, the biggest one was five-star Caden Henderson, linebacker out of Tampa Jesuit. He's starting his unofficial tour of schools with Miami. Going to be at Florida next week and Florida State the week after that, then Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, and USC. So Henderson is a big, huge target in the 2027 class, 6'2", 200-pound plus linebacker, a guy that is an absolute stud and the highest rated of all the recruits that were on campus. But I would say from the underclassmen, that was the noteworthy one. And then from the 26 class, Jalen Waters, the 4-star cornerback from Sefner Armwood, who we could have some news on soon. Derek Cooper, the running back out of Hollywood Chaminade, 4-star. Andre Clark, 4-star cornerback out of Richmond, Virginia. Here's a familiar name for sports fans, Justice Fitzpatrick. I wonder whose younger brother that is. Maybe Minka? He was on campus today as well. 4-star defensive back out of St. Thomas Aquinas. Couple of offensive linemen were there. Joel Irvin from Fort Myers. You had Ashley Walker from Hollywood Chaminade. And then a couple of receivers, Jason Lopez, Larry Miles from in-state. Larry Miles is a 4-star from Orlando Jones High School. He's the teammate of 2026 Miami quarterback commitment, Darian Coleman. Darian Coleman was on campus with Larry Miles today, or scheduled to be on campus with Larry Miles today. Coleman, to me, when I watch him and I watch Luke Nickel, to me, it's not even close. I think Darian Coleman is the better quarterback, the better prospect. But he won't get here for another year. He was on campus. He was one of 2 commitments in the 26 class on campus. The other one was Jordan Campbell, the linebacker out of Carroll City High School, who's been committed to Miami, by the way, since November of 2023. So that kid has kind of been the linchpin for Miami. Big-time linebacker from Carroll City High School.
So who could be the next big commit? Who's the next big cheese?
I think it's definitely going to be Jalen Waters, who's the former Florida Gators commitment who decommitted a while back. He's got some official visits coming up to Auburn, Miami, and Florida, ones that were scheduled previously. Auburn on May 30th, Miami on June 13th, and then Florida on June 16th. I think ultimately if he ends up committing to Miami potentially sometime this weekend, he might take those other visits off the table or still go. Who knows? You know how it is in this day and age. Guys still want to be able to take their visits. Waters is certainly good enough. He's got high school teammates from Armwood that just were part of this recent Miami recruiting class that are here. And so they can convince him to be one of maybe the next commitment, one of 5 if he commits here this weekend. Then he won't be taking those trips. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
All right. What do you got going on in the athletic so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yep. Got a transfer portal story. I mean, I just wrote something big on Miami earlier this week, storylines to watch for the spring. A lot of the stuff that we covered here on the show the last couple of weeks, but we're going to have a transfer portal story looking at news and notes, who's the big winners in the portal, the losers, in terms of bringing in experienced starters etc. So it'll be a nice little analysis for you to catch up on all the college football.
All right, good stuff as always. And don't forget to visit our friends at the Big Cheese. Go to the website, bigcheesemiami.com. You can order the party platters if you got to get together with your friends, family members, coworkers, whatever it is. And of course, just treat your friends, your family members, that person you love to a great lunch or dinner. 305-662-6855. Go to bigcheesemiami.com.
You've been listening to the Big Cheese Miami Recruiting and NIL Report with Manny Navarro. At the Big Cheese Miami, they continue to purchase the same high-quality ingredients that the most expensive Italian restaurants use. The difference is they serve large portions at a family price. Visit the Big Cheese at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue in Miami. Call 305-662-6855 or go to thebigcheesemiami.com. Go Canes!
This is the Big O Show. This is the